Hello again, everyone. It's Abra, and I'm back to give you my 2 cents on the M. Night Shyamalan movie Trap, starring Josh Hartnett. Where to start with this movie? I wanted to like it. The trailers, it seemed a little bit kooky, but it seemed like it had the potential to at least be fun. I'm a fan of true crime and thrillers and suspense movies. I wasn't expecting anything too intense with this movie, but, I still had some hope for it. So just to give you a quick overview of what the movie is about, Josh Hartnett plays Cooper, who is a firefighter, a dad, a family man, and he just happens to be a serial killer. And he is taking his daughter, Riley, played by Ariel Donahue, to see a concert, like a Taylor Swift kind of concert, where it's mostly young girls and they're screaming and excited. And so he's doing this really nice thing for his daughter, kind of having a bonding moment. So right off the bat, M. Night Shyamalan is kind of painting Cooper as, a good dad. And as the story progresses, you find out that he has murdered 12 people already. Shortly into the film, you see as Cooper takes a break and goes to the restroom, he pulls out his cell phone and you see video of one of his latest victims. They're still alive, but they're locked up in a safe house somewhere, and it's not looking good for them. So the interesting thing with this movie was Shyamalan kind of paints Cooper as this, even though he's a killer, you can kind of sympathize with him. He seems like a good father, and he cares for his daughter, Riley. I was expecting something maybe along the lines of Dexter. And it's kind of funny because at one point in the film, they play a violin kind of string melody that sounds strikingly similar to the theme song in Dexter. Of course, changed up a little bit to avoid, I guess, like any copyright infringement. But I thought that was kind of funny. Come to find out, somehow the FBI and the police, kind of led by this profiler named Dr. Josephine Grant, who was played by Haley Mills, by the way. She played in the original Parent Trap. So that's kind of an interesting piece of trivia, at least I thought so. Like Parent Trap, this movie's Trap. But it was funny, I didn't recognize her, but what I did notice was the name that they chose for her. Dr. Josephine Grant, Joe Grant. I used to be a Doctor Who fan, so I can kind of pick up on those types of things. And Joe Grant was actually a companion to the third Doctor, played by Jon Pertwee. So I thought that was kind of interesting, and it made me wonder if maybe M. Night Shyamalan was a Doctor Who fan, or maybe Haley Mills suggested it. But I thought that was kind of an interesting coincidence. But anyway, she plays the FBI profiler. She's trying to guide the police and the FBI in their efforts to contain the arena where this concert is being held so they can try to snag Josh Hartnett. They apparently had collected little clues along the way, so they had an idea of what the serial killer should kind of look like. They just would get little camera glimpses here and there from the various crime scenes. There were times when Cooper realized that the walls were closing in on him, where his behavior was a little erratic. And it's understandable that he would be afraid of being caught, but typically when you hear of serial killers, they try to blend in with society. So, the regular people in society don't pick up on those weird cues. So I thought when he was kind of acting over the top, like acting too friendly, it was just a little out of place, a little weird. The parts of the film that take place during the concert were fun, and there was some tension-filled moments, but I don't feel like Shyamalan took it far enough. I wish there was a little more suspense involved in it. I always felt like Cooper had an out. Like, it never really felt like the walls were really closing in on him. It seemed like whenever he was presented with a problem, he had a quick fix for it. I really wanted to like this movie. I just felt like it fell apart towards the end of the second act and the third act. And there are a few things that are kind of alluded to. Shyamalan kind of insinuates that Cooper had some problems with his mom. And I just wish that had been explored a little little bit more. And I was kind of waiting for that classic Shyamalan twist, and it didn't deliver. To be fair, it's been a while since I've seen an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I kind of feel bad for the guy because I feel like he had his big hit with his initial movie release with Sixth Sense way back when. I feel like he's just been trying to chase the success of that ever since. But it just seems like every time he just blows the ending. I'm not going to spoil the ending or anything, but it fell flat for me and I was disappointed. And I will say that it did seem like he left it open for the possibility of a sequel. And I really don't like that. I would give this movie a 5 out of 10 just because I liked Josh Hartnett and I would say the first part's fun. I wouldn't bother seeing in the theater. I would say if you know, a rainy afternoon sometime and it's on streaming, check it out then. I really enjoyed Josh Hartnett's take on it, but yeah, it just kind of fell flat for me, unfortunately. So yeah, those are my 2 cents on Trap by M. Night Shyamalan, starring Josh Hartnett. Thank you so much for watching. This is Abra, and until next time, take care.
Enjoy the rest of the concert.